Hello guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arslan and today we are on day 41 of solving the object-oriented programming system questions with the help of Python. So if you are very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. So in this playlist, we have been solving questions based on object-oriented programming. So we started from a very basic question of object-oriented programming, and then we have just increased the bar like anything. We have covered so many topics till now, and we will be covering more and more topics of object-oriented programming until we get the best output from it. So today's topic is hierarchical inheritance. As you can see on the screen, we have already discussed concept of inheritance. We have been discussing multiple types of inheritances, including single inheritance we have already covered, multiple inheritance we have already covered, multi-level already covered, and today's topic is hierarchical inheritance, and we have already covered two questions. We have already done two questions based on hierarchical inheritance. So now today we have third question on hierarchical inheritance. So let's start this tutorial and we can just start with solving the hierarchical inheritance. So there's a question on your screen which we will be solving today. And just before starting with this question today, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. So the question says create a class called employee with attributes name and designation. Implement a method called display info that prints out the name and designation of the employee. So just before I start with this tutorial, I would like to ask you guys to just solve it on your own first. And if you are unable to solve this question, then you can just follow my method so that you can just know your level of understanding of the questions. So now let's start this tutorial, and I'm assuming that you have just solved it first on your own and then you are watching my tutorial. So parent class, and then I will be creating class called employee, and then I have to first of all it's a parent class, and I have to know I will be just writing a class employee here, and we have two instance attribute name and designation. So I have to write def init here first, and I have to pass two instance attribute, that is name and designation. Then I have to write self dot name is equals to name, self dot designation is equals to designation. Alright, so now I have two instance attribute according to the question, and then I have to create a method here called display info, def display info, and since it's a method, I have to just close it by parenthesis, and I have to write self here in those parentheses, and then I have to close this statement by a colon and press enter here. And first I have to print out the name. So I will be writing f string here, and then I will be writing name here, putting colon here, and I will be writing self dot name here. Now I have to print one more statement here, that is designation, and it will be like this. So this is all we have to do in this method. Now create two child classes, manager and engineer, both inheriting from the employee class. Add an additional attribute called department to the manager class and specialization to the engineer class. So let's do that as well. So first of all we will be creating a method called first of all we will be creating a child class, that is first child class is manager, manager, and close it by parentheses, and inside those parentheses we will be writing the name of the parent class. So the name of the parent class is employee, definitely we all know this. So we will be just writing it like this, and I will be writing def init now and press enter, and automatically it will be just writing each and everything that has been inherited from the parent class. So there's one keyword here, that is super init function, right? So what does this super init function do for us? So we have already discussed in our previous tutorial what is superint function, and I will so what does it superint function does is it allows us to use the functionality of the parent class, and it will help us to use the functionality of the parent class, like we can use name here, we can use designation here, we can also use display info function from our parent class in our child class. So this is what superint function will help us to do. So now name designation, and then first then I will be writing name designation. Next is we have to pass one more uh, instance attribute, that is department to the manager. So I will be writing it like this, and self dot department is equals to department. So now this is what we have to do in this class. Similarly, we have to create one more class here that will be quite identical to the class manager, but the name of this class will be engineer, and instead of department there is a specialization attribute. So we will be just replacing department with specialization in our engineer class. So these are two child classes we have created. So we have created two child classes and both are inheriting from one parent class. So this is another example of hierarchical inheritance. Now we have to create instance for of both child classes and set specific values for name, designation, department, and specialization attribute. Call the display info method for each instance to print out the name and designation of the employee. So we have to create two instances here. First of all, we have to create an instance for manager and instance for engineer. So to create an instance for manager, let's say Arsalan is equals to manager, and I have to pass three arguments here because it takes three arguments. First of all, give the name Arsalan, designation is manager, and department is, let's say, X department. All right, and this is my instance for manager. And if I what we have to do according to the question, I have to just call the display info method. So I will be writing Arsalan dot display info and close it by parenthesis and run this code. So as you can see, we are getting Arsalan and designation manager. Now similarly, I will be creating one more instance for engineer. Let's say Ahmad is equals to engineer, and we have to pass three arguments here as well. Ahmad is my name and designation is engineer, and department is, let's say, Y department, and simply I will be writing Ahmad dot display info and close it by parenthesis again. So as you can see, there is Ahmad and designation. So let's create some spaces here. So create between spaces between this, I will be just printing it like this and run this. So it will be creating a space here. So I can just put more spaces, 2 3 4, so it can create gap between two instances like this. So first of all it's Ahmad, and sorry, first of all its name is Arsalan and designation manager. Second instance gives us Ahmad and designation engineer. So this was all in the question, guys. Hope you have liked this tutorial and hope you have understood this question and hope you were able to do this question before I did it. So that's the main thing here, that before I do this question you have already solved this question. That's the motive of my tutorial. So guys, this was all for today. Hope you have liked this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching this video and see you next time.